Hello and welcome to the Introduction to Finance. In this lesson, we'll talk about coincident indicators. And what a coincident indicator does, it helps identify a current phase in the business cycle. So there are four indicators we're going to take a look at. The first two are the gross domestic product and the gross national product. And basically the difference is the GDP tracks what is produced within 1 year inside the boundaries of a country, and the gross national product is what is produced by a group within a year, regardless of the boundaries. So if we take a look at the percent change of GDP, since 2016, we have been seeing a positive growth in GDP until we hit 2020. The first 2 quarters we went down, which signals a contraction phase in the business cycle, but in the third quarter of 2020 we have seen a sharp rise. So currently we are experiencing a short-term expansion phase, which is similar to the data we've seen in the leading indicators that we have seen in the previous lesson. Looking at the gross national product, again, we have been going up since 2018 until we reached 2020, where we have gone down and we have shot back up again. But you can see that we are seeing a downtrend in the GNP. So what phase are we in then after seeing these two indicators? Well, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, we are currently in a recession, which means that we have experienced 6 months of being in a contraction phase. But economists say that it is not a typical contractionary phase. Okay, the next indicator we're going to take a look at is the Producer Price Index. And the Producer Price Index is a good measure of inflation. So as the prices of commodity goes up, that shows a rise in inflation. And it basically means that the prices of things are more expensive, which means that whatever money that you have in cash, the value goes down. And basically what the way that affects you personally is if you go to the store, if you have $100, 10 years ago would have bought you more, and those same $100 buy you less because inflation has gone up, and that is tracked by the Producer Price Index. So if the PPI keeps going up, that means that those $100 are going to buy even less things. All right, and finally, the last thing we're going to look at is the trade surplus and deficit. So the United States has historically had a large trade deficit because we have been purchasing things from other countries and importing them than what we have been producing within the United States. And so the way that affects us is that basically jobs have been going overseas because they are the ones who have been producing things that we have been buying, and we have not been producing things within the United States. And so specifically, we have a large trade deficit with China because we have been buying computers, cell phones, and clothes from them. We have been importing them, and the things we have been exporting them are commercial aircraft, soybeans, semiconductors. So what that means is that we have been employing people to produce aircraft, we have been employing farmers to produce soybeans, and we have been employing workers to produce semiconductors, while China has been employing people to produce computers, cell phones, and clothes. And from the previous chart, we have seen the trade deficit keeps growing and growing. So it should be interesting to see where we are headed in the next few months and years. So those are the coincident indicators.